speed. I am speed.
Move over, Lightning McQueen. There's a new speed demon in the global electric vehicle industry. BYD rolled out its new Han L and Tang L, and I honestly don't know how these vehicles and their specs are even real. If this weren't the largest EV maker in the world, I would put an asterisk next to all the manufacturers' claim. But this is BYD, and they don't mess around. What specs am I talking about? 0 to 100%, up to 1,000 kilowatts of charging. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, over 1,000 horsepower. But this is like a multi-million-dollar car, right? No, it's not. Let's dig into the numbers, and I think you'll agree that this battery electric is the latest example of why China is charging forward while the rest of the world is second-guessing every past decision. Where to start? How about styling? In the rest of this video, I'll detail why everyone else should be pooping in their pants over this new platform from BYD. So, let's talk about something subjective, styling. As for that, I like it. I just don't lust over it like the Zeekr 007 or Zeekr 7 shooting brake. After I show you the specs though, I think the styling of this EV is a gross understatement for just how amazing the car is. Honestly, it's kind of like a DeepSeek moment for electric vehicles. Tesla's stock today is down, who knows why, but it should be because of this reveal. The BYD Han L is about the same size as the BMW i5. The BYD Tang L is about the same size as the BMW iX crossover. Why am I comparing BYD brand vehicles to premium BMWs? You'll see why. Acceleration 0 to 100 kilometers per hour is sick. But let's talk about charging first. All of these figures are the manufacturer's claims, and the claims are just redonkulous. First of all, it's a 1,000-volt architecture. Damn! Volts times amps equals watts or kilowatts, so a higher voltage architecture at the same amps of electricity flow will deliver more power, more kilowatts. There are lots of 800-volt architectures out there. BYD is claiming that it's the first true 1,000-volt architecture. But all those volts and amps are only good if the batteries can handle the higher charging. It doesn't matter otherwise. C rate is a measure of how many times the battery can conceivably be charged in 1 hour. 2C means that you can recharge it twice in 1 hour or 30 minutes. That's kind of typical. 3C, 20 minutes, 3 times in 1 hour. BYD claims 10 freaking C. I did an earlier video last year based on leaked rumors about BYD's next generation blade batteries, which is still lithium iron phosphate. Reports were that a short version of the battery would be able to charge at 8C. Well, I guess it's really 10C in value, and that's a peak value, not something that it can sustain over the entire charging curve. But don't worry, they backed it up with a video showing the actual charging speed. Warning, if you've ever charged an EV, you may have to change your underwear after watching it. To achieve their claimed megawatt charging, they have 1,000 volts delivered at 1,000 amps. 1,000 kilowatts, 1 megawatt. To achieve this, they're using 2 cables, and I need to dig into this deeper, but I believe they're dividing the current, the amps, across those 2 cables. One 1,000 amp cable would be really thick and liquid cooled in order to achieve that kind of current, but 2 500 amp cables from BYD's exclusive Megawatt chargers could be combined once they're on the vehicle. Also, the connectors are the typical DC GBT that is used in China, but there's just 2 of them. I need to go back in the video to see if they mention Chaoji, which is their next generation standard being developed in Asia for the connector type. I thought I heard them say in the video that word, but I don't speak a Mandarin, so who knows what I actually heard. I plan to do a super deep dive into this reveal, looking at the details of their charging infrastructure and electrical architecture. So if you like that kind of stuff, let me know. At a low state of charge, starting at 14% in the video, it shows a peak charging rate of 1,000 kilowatts. It's adding 20 kilometers or about 14 miles in the first 10 seconds. This is the dream for electric vehicles, adding range as quickly as a gasoline-powered vehicle can pump gas. Beyond this initial peak, past about 20%, the state of charge ramps down to only 660 kilowatts, and then beyond 40% battery state of charge, it's less fast at only over 500 kilowatts. All of these numbers are just ridiculous. All of this is part of what they're calling their Super ePlatform. BYD has been steadily increasing the performance of their EV platforms. 1, 2, 3, and 3 Evo is their most recent version of their platform. In my monthly BYD update, check that out and hit subscribe. I thought they would call this ePlatform 4.0, but nope, it's Super ePlatform. For the Han-L specifically, it has an 83 kilowatt hour battery, still LFP blade battery chemistry. That's good for 373 or 436 miles of range on the CLTC test, which is generous. So approximately EPA mileage would be somewhere between 270 to just over 300 miles. If range is your key metric, that's good, but not world-class. If the earlier rumors of these new BYD blade batteries were correct, the new short blade battery would charge very quickly but not have the best energy density. So that may have led them to decide to keep the battery size under 100 kilowatt hours and thus not world-class range, but that's okay because you can charge so quickly and much faster than other battery EVs. BYD is committing to install over 4,000 of these Megawatt Charging dual cable chargers across China. Rollout to other market is to be announced. Other Chinese automakers have been deploying their own network of high-powered charging, including Tesla. But until now, BYD has held back. Well, hold back no more. They're going all in. I've been doing a lot of talking and still haven't scratched performance. Dual motor, all-wheel drive Han-L sedan packs over 1,000 horsepower and stupid fast 0 to 62 acceleration. EVs have become so fast that they're not even bragging about 0 to 60 anymore. It's 0 to over 120 miles per hour. The bigger, less aerodynamic Tang L gets the same powertrain but a bigger battery and a little less stupid acceleration. If it were up to me, I'd drive the single motor rear-wheel drive with only 670 horsepower, turn off the traction control, and literally take it for a spin. Now, about those motors, most of its competitors are going up to and over 1,000 horsepower using tri or quad motor configurations. More motors, more power. But BYD's model is just dual motor. The rear motor on the all-wheel drive model produces 580 kilowatts, that's 778 horsepower from one unit. That makes it the most powerful single motor in a passenger car. It's a permanent magnet synchronous motor, nothing really new there, but lots of engineering details that go to make this very energy-dense motor spin very fast. RPM is another spec that automakers are starting to promote. Higher RPM motors provide more performance. It allows for a wider band of speed without resorting to a 2-speed transmission. Xiaomi gets referenced for being the current leader, but sorry, not sorry, BYD's latest can spin it at over 30,000 RPM. At its top RPM, it does drop off a little bit in power by about 10%, but that still leaves you with way more oomph than you really need. This high voltage, high powered, high RPM platform uses its own silicon carbide design chips, to keep costs down and be vertically integrated. The presentation goes really deep. Like I said, I'm going to Google Translate some more of the slides and maybe put out a follow-up Super Geek video later on. Other details to note, they are packaging their batteries using cell-to-body design, where they are integrated into the vehicle structure. But don't worry, this EV is NCAP tested for Europe, and other medieval demonstrations were shown to prove just how safe their LFP batteries are. I mentioned earlier that this platform could be compared to a DeepSeek moment for EVs. Well, it's going to integrate DeepSeek AI into their smart cockpit. Vehicles on stage were shown with one LiDAR sensor at the roof, and they confirmed that they would offer God's Eye B or D-Pilot 300 smart driving system capable of highway driving, city navigation, and valet parking. The higher-powered smart driving system D-Pilot 600 is reserved for their ultra-premium brands with multiple LiDAR sensors. Remember, this is a BYD brand from their Dynasty series, so all of the leading specs, it's still targeted as an affordable vehicle. How affordable? The Han L starts at around $37,000 US for the rear-wheel drive model. All-wheel drive is, of course, more expensive, same battery, just lots more power. The Tang L 3-row crossover gets a larger battery to make up for its size and deliver good range. Same rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive power specs. Starting price is under $39,000 US. I compare both models to other Chinese vehicles. It's just a different market. You cannot expect that the same price there would make its way to other markets. No word on launch outside of China, but the Han and Tang current versions were offered in just about everywhere BYD sells, so it's just a matter of time. I doubt BYD will build out its own network of Megawatt Chargers in Europe. Maybe they'll still give it 2 connectors, so if you wanted to tie up 2 CCS connections, you could. As for now, let me just wrap up this shock and awe video. I may be reading too much into this, but some of the speeches given on stage really emphasize the China advantage that they have over the rest of the world when it comes to electric vehicles, acknowledging that their amazing Chinese competitors are putting out wonderful products, but their new Super ePlatform is just better. BYD has some more events planned in the upcoming weeks, so until next time, thanks for watching.